The Galactic Council had always considered humans to be the most peculiar species in the known universe. Not because of their physical capabilities, they were average at best. Not because of their technology, dozens of species had surpassed them. No, humans were peculiar because of their infinite patience. Right up until the moment they weren't. Jasmine Torres stood in the center of the council chamber, her dark eyes scanning the assembled representatives of 47 different species. Beside her, Kevin Matthews kept his hands clasped behind his back, his jaw tight with barely contained frustration. They had been here for 3 standard months, attempting to negotiate a simple trade agreement. 3 months of circular arguments, deliberate mistranslations, and bureaucratic stalling. The Vraxian ambassador, a crystalline being that refracted light in nauseating patterns, clicked its appendages dismissively. As I have explained for the 73rd time, human designation Torres, your species simply does not understand the complexities of interstellar commerce. Perhaps in another century, when you've matured, stop. Jasmine's voice was quiet, but something in her tone made every being in the chamber freeze. Kevin glanced at her, recognizing the change. He'd seen it before, during the border wars on Titan. He took a subtle step back. Ambassador Jasmine continued, her voice still unnervingly calm. Do you know what humans call the period before we lose our patience? The Vraxian's translator struggled with the idiom. I do not understand the relevance. We call it professional courtesy. Kevin interjected, his own voice taking on a harder edge. And you've just exhausted yours. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Around the chamber, the more perceptive species began to shift uncomfortably. The Kalash representative, whose people had fought alongside humans during the swarm incursion, quietly began moving toward the exits. Jasmine pulled up her datapad, her fingers moving with precise, controlled movements. For 94 days we have followed every protocol. We've filed every form in triplicate. We've attended every committee meeting, subcommittee meeting, and pre-committee discussion session. We've been patient, your point being, the Vraxian asked, though its light refraction had become noticeably more erratic. My point, Jasmine said, looking up with a smile that didn't reach her eyes, is that human patience isn't weakness. It's a courtesy we extend because we remember what happens when we stop being patient. Kevin activated the holographic display. Images flooded the chamber, historical records from Earth's archives, conflicts that lasted mere decades but reshaped continents, technologies developed in desperation that changed the course of civilizations, fortresses that held against impossible odds, last stands that became legends. You see, Kevin explained, his voice taking on a lecturing tone, most species fight until it's not cost-effective, or until a treaty is proposed, or until they're tired. Humans, we've ended wars by making our enemies cease to exist as military powers. We've held positions not because we thought we could win, but because surrender never occurred to us as an option. The Vraxian's confidence was wavering now. Are you threatening this council, Retin? Jasmine laughed, but there was no humor in it. No, Ambassador, we're explaining. You've spent 3 months insulting our intelligence, questioning our worth, and blocking every reasonable proposal we've made. You did this because you thought we'd eventually give up and accept your exploitation terms. She stood, her chair scraping against the floor with a sound like a blade being drawn. But here's what you don't understand about humans. We don't give up, we don't forget, and when we finally stop being patient, when we stop playing by rules designed to disadvantage us, we become the thing that makes you remember why you invented those rules in the first place. Kevin brought up another display. 26 hours ago, while you were stalling us again, the human merchant fleet rerouted. All of it. Every ship, every cargo vessel, every trade convoy. He paused, letting that sink in. None of them will be entering Vraxian space, or Delphic space, or any system belonging to the 17 species currently blocking this agreement. The chamber erupted in alarm. The economic implications were staggering. Human goods, medical supplies, entertainment media, agricultural products, and especially their unparalleled comfort items had become integral to dozens of economies. Furthermore, Jasmine continued over the din. We've shared our findings with the Kalash, the Saurian Union, and the Free Colonies. Findings about how certain council members have been manipulating trade routes and embezzling collective defense funds. She tilted her head. They were very interested. The Kalash, especially, since they've been footing a disproportionate share of the defense budget. The Kalash ambassador, now safely near the exit, gave what might have been a smile. His species knew how humans operated. They'd fought alongside them. When humans stopped talking and started acting, the galaxy shifted. The Vraxian ambassador's light patterns had become chaotic. This is extortion. No, Kevin corrected. This is what happens when you mistake patience for weakness, when you assume that because we're willing to talk, we're not willing to act. You had 3 months of human patience, Ambassador. You squandered it on games and ego. Jasmine gathered her materials, nodding to Kevin. We're leaving. When and if the council is ready to negotiate in good faith, you know how to reach us. But understand this. The next human delegation won't be diplomats. What will they be? The Vraxian asked weakly. Kevin smiled, and it was the smile of someone who'd seen combat and survived. economists, lawyers, and trade negotiators who specialize in hostile acquisitions. You see, Ambassador, the thing about humans is that we have an entire vocabulary dedicated to different types of conflict, and we're very, very good at all of them. As they walked toward the exit, the chamber remained silent. The other species watched them go, a new understanding settling over the assembly. Humans weren't the most advanced species, they weren't the strongest or the fastest, but they were the only species that treated patience as a tactical choice rather than a personality trait. And everyone in the galaxy had just learned the difference. The doors closed behind Jasmine and Kevin, with a finality that echoed through the chamber. Within hours, the vote was called. Within a day, the trade agreement was approved with every term the humans had originally requested. The Kalash ambassador was heard muttering to a colleague, "I tried to warn them. Humans don't make threats. They make promises, and they always keep them." From that day forward, the phrase human patience took on a new meaning in galactic politics. It became something to be grateful for, to be maintained at all costs, because everyone had learned the answer to the question that defined an era. What happens when humans finally lose their patience? Everything changes.